Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are joining us from. Hello. How is everyone doing today? If you can see me, if you can hear me, let me see your comments. Please say hi in the comment section if you can see me or you can hear me. Hello. How is everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing very well. Okay, thank you for joining us today and welcome to another session with Hills and Tech. It's been a couple of weeks since our last session, and we're here today to talk to you all. And we're going to have a very interactive session. So please, if you have questions, comments, just leave them in the comment section and we'll be sure to get to them. Okay? So today we are going to discuss new coding, non-coding rules that AI is creating in tech today. Today is day one, and in September we're going to have our day two. So all your questions, get them ready and leave them in the comment section and we'll be sure to get with you. So if you're just joining us today for the first time, you're very much welcome to Hills and Tech. And just a little overview about Hills and Tech. We are a platform dedicated to closing the gender gap between women and technology. We offer several non-coding courses like business analysis, data analytics, data governance, product design, AI consulting, cybersecurity, vibe coding, and so many more courses. You will hear about them during today's session. A little bit about our founder, Bisola Alabi. Having started her career in tech 10 years ago, never touched a line of code and witnessed a gap between women and technology, watched families lose their jobs to digitization, and decided to do something about it in 2020. So she set up a platform where women who have increasingly become breadwinners can acquire non-coding technical skills and apply for high-quality jobs in less than 2 months. Yes, you heard that right. Most of our courses, you can finish them in 10 weeks and so forth, and some 8 weeks as well. So there's so much you can do in less than 2 months. We are fully online and have trained from over 25 countries. This has been made possible by the virtue of hands-on training and quality of our facilitators, one of whom you would meet today, who ensure our students get value and also monitor them during interview sessions. Amazingly, we have trained students from various backgrounds, such as stay-at-home moms, undergraduates, lawyers, people who wish to immigrate, amongst others. So no matter your background, you're very much welcome to take a course with us and get in the next direction of your life. So by 2030, we aim to have trained over 100 million African women through paid and free sessions such as this. Abisalabi is also an author. She authored Jasmine Discovers Tech Book for young girls in secondary school. Many of our students work at different well-known companies that you may or may not have heard about, and this is just a few of them. And you too can be one of them. That brings us to today's session. New non-coding roles that AI is creating in tech. So before I bring up our facilitator for today, let's just get to meet him just a little bit. Sharon Ebenezer is an enterprise data leader with over 15 years of experience transforming chaotic data landscapes into trusted business-ready assets across regulated UK sectors, including food manufacturing, gas distribution, financial services, and rail infrastructure. He currently directs Green Core Group's enterprise data governance capability within its £100 million transformation program. Sharon has built enterprise data governance capabilities from the ground up at organizations including Green Core, Cadent Gas, and Cumberland Building Society, leading governance across 11 million plus customer records and directing £1 million transformation budgets. He specializes in translating data risk into board level investment decisions and building governance councils that shifts organizations from reactive to proactive compliance and measurable data value. Beyond his professional role, Sharon leads data governance and infrastructure for the charity We Are Here and manages a 600 plus member global data professionals community. That is a stellar career, and we are so happy to welcome you, Mr. Sharon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You're very much welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for accepting this invite. So, if you could go ahead and share your screen.
I just want to ask everyone who's joining us to, if you can put where you're joining us from, maybe your name and where you're joining us from, so we get to meet you virtually. That would be awesome. So, one, it will help us to be able to provide use case that is consistent with your physical or geographic location or your intended location. Um, there's a lot to cover, but having specifics will help to create where to focus, if you get what I understand, so that you are providing use case that is tailored or more relevant. Um, yeah, so that is one of the reasons why I do ask that people put in where they are joining, so it helps us with targeted information, as it were.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Yes.
yeah, if you're here, just help us by putting that information so we get an idea of where you are.
Yes. I can see Joy joining in from Nigeria, Jay from Great Britain. Please keep the comments coming in as you join us. You're very much welcome.
Um, once I go into, okay, hold on. Before I go into production mode, can you see my screen?
Yes, please, I can.
Production mode 4. Okay, good. So my needs to find a way to be able to see. Okay, I can see this now. Good afternoon, everyone joining tonight. Whatever time zone that you are at, because we have a few people who are joining in the same time zones, and we have some other people who are joining across different time zones. We have people from cross Atlantic, for example, US, Canada, and stuff like that, who are joining us. So I just needed to put my phone on silence at the moment so that it doesn't become an attention. All right, good. So this evening or afternoon, morning, whatever time it is, I just wanted to bring light to non-coding roles that AI is creating in tech today. And AI is an exciting, interesting um, topic or conversation that must be heard in today's world. AI is changing everything, and AI is bringing the power of possibility closer to humans than we've ever known it before. Now, AI is telling us that almost nothing is impossible. And I mean, just take that word for it to say almost nothing is impossible because what you don't know, AI knows, quote unquote. All right. So AI is intruding as much as it is barging into every sort of life facet, everything. what you do, what you buy, what you wear, how you parent, what you think, what you say, everything. AI is in it. And the fear of this is that AI's ability to begin to do work will mean that some people will be left out of job, or people will need certain skill sets to be able to function in this new world where AI has got a bit of dominance. While that can be a potential truth, is only half truth. AI is also creating roles that are non-technical as much as it is creating technical roles. In fact, let me shock you and say that technical roles will fade faster than non-technical roles. I stand to have a debate on that because AI is self-creative. Do you understand? So if you create a line of code for AI, absolutely, AI learn that code and can recreate it for itself. So AI will get to a place where it needs less people to sit at the engine creating the codes, but that's not the essence for today. Where we are today, or where we want to focus on today, is what roles are non-coding that AI is creating in tech today. You know, if you are here right now, I am assuming that you are interested in the non-coding areas or in the non-coding roles that AI is creating or that are available to in tech today. And if that's the case, um, that is what we would like to get into shortly. Now, I love my sessions to be very interactive. I don't want to just talk at you and just say lots of things. So, through interaction, you're learning, you're contributing, you're participating, and that is really, really important to me. So, if you are able to, I would like to ask the question. Let me just put it a question: what roles do you think are non-coding roles that AI is creating or that exist parallel to AI in the world today? Can you put it in the comment section? Let's see how much we know. All right, and let's start from there. Good. So we have a few goals for this session. This session is to understand why AI is creating new work around technology, which are not just only the engineering, coding, technical skills, but also non-technical skill. I'll show from my presentation today, like I've taken just about 10 9, 10 non-coding roles with entry routes and markets and all that are available to everyone in this AI infested sort of job markets. Yeah, AI is intruding massively. Also, to do a bit of comparison of skills, certification, market prospects, indicative sort of pay range, and to help you into the next sort of action to choose by identifying the role, family, and what fits your skills, what matches your strength, what matches your career path or affinity for work, and also to help you decide to now begin to plan your launch into your desired non-coding role. That is what we want to do on the session. Now, this session is not meant to, it's meant to be interactive, it's meant to be insightful. It's meant to help you make an informed decision basically by understanding what exists out there in the market and to have a reflection of what are your current skills, what are your transferable skills, what is your goal in terms of learning, in terms of trying to develop your career path, in terms of transition, if that is what you want to do, and all those kind of lovely decisions which I think everyone wants to be part of. That's what we want to do today. So, first and foremost, let's talk about the big career shift. AI is changing the task mix inside almost every profession. Now, a lot of administrative roles will go to AI. A lot of repetitive roles will go to AI. At the moment, 47% of work tasks are human. See, 30% of task is delivered by a combination of people and technology. And right now, we have work tasks across the globe that are measured as 22% covered by just technology. Now, that is the spectrum or the data that we have right now in terms of what humans alone are doing, what humans are doing with technology, and what technology alone is doing. Now, the forecast is in the next 4 years, the next 5 years, 4 to 5 years, say 2030, 2031, employers would move towards a greater responsibility to technology. That there will be a shift between the people, technology, and the combination of both in the coming right in the coming 4 5 years. And that shift will not stop. It will continue in another 5 years, say 20 by 30, 2035. That shift will begin to get greater where we have a lot in the technology side. But before I go there, let's talk with 2030 for now to see what the prospect or the forecast says. The forecast is saying that in the next 5 years, there will be a 14% reduction in tasks that are done mainly by humans. 14, whooping 14% of all tasks done by humans will now be done by technology. And I don't want to go too much into that. Some basic stuff that are being done by humans will get removed. I'm so some of us will have seen some futuristic films, and so those days are coming and they are very close. All those futuristic, they are mirroring what scientists are thinking. They are just putting it ahead of us. So we find that there will be especially in the developed country, there will be less of house help, cleaning the floor and all this stuff. Those kind of roles will go because you would have robotics, which are already in place now. You have self-powered hoovers, this round robots that you put on the floor, you press on, they go around your house, whipping, packing stuff and washing it. You don't have to do it yourself. You have a washing machine and stuff like that right here now. But with the introduction of IoT and all that stuff, these things can pick up stuff themselves. Your fridge can begin to identify what items are going out of date and everything, and put their picture in front of your screen once you want to open this to say, listen, I have to take this out. These are some of the things that you will find people doing, but all this will start to shift to a place where we have a growth in human and technology combination. We could look at the screen, there is a 4% rise in how many people will be working now with technology. And there will be a growth of 11% in the next 4 years of what technology by itself will do. All right. So 14% decline in human one, 4% rise in partnership with machines, and there will be an 11% rise in tasks that machines alone will be able to do. Next says that what does AI need? AI is not, luckily or thank God, AI is not God. AI is just machine. AI is just computers. AI is just brain of computers. That's what AI is. Okay. So AI exists because computer scientists, develop a network of knowledge, which the computer knows. So they are amassing the knowledge that the computers knows across the world. Thank God for networking. My background is in networking. I have a degree in computer network and security. All right. So the networking that helps us to have internet is saying that why don't we collaborate knowledge in that form? That is what AI is basically. Simple. Okay. So now AI system would now need not only those people who are able to build the back end of things, but AIs and every AI system now would need people to define it. What is it meant to do? What is it meant to, to apart from, okay, we've seen the roles here, all right? These are like 8 roles that we have here, or 8 areas where the AI would need not just only builders. The first one is people builders are computer engineers, architects, and all that that build that engine, that brain, computer brain. All right. But also there will be some people that have to define, what do we need AI for? Is it to create a product? Is it to create a business? Is it to create a service? What are we building with this AI? There will be some people who sit in the place of governance, who govern the operations of the AI, who look into the risks that the AI poses, who looks into the data that the AI needs to consume, who looks into the policies that makes AI function, across the business or across its scope of use. We have some other people behind the scene that are operation in the operations, how AI is deployed, the scope of its deployation, the operations that you put into AI to perform, like we were talking before, that AI will have its own growth in terms of what AI can do itself. So these are the people that deploy AI into those areas. This is what you do and map the scope for it. Next, we have testing and quality. There will be people who are their role is to test AI. They test it. Is it behaving according to the policy? Is it consuming only the scope of data given to it, or is it generating some hallucination? I'm sure probably most of us have heard that AI hallucinates. It can hallucinate. It means it can come up with something that does not exist and said, "I think it is." So how is it performing? There are people who will be in that place. All right. And there's some people who will be in the area of enablement. They are training people on the use of AI, and they're training people in the ability to adapt and adopt what AI is yielding or is bringing to for. Next is we have people who are in the design. For example, if you go to any AI platform, some people use AI platform for making videos and making all the stuff. Some people are behind the scene that all their job is to design the look and feel, customer experience or consumer experience of what you see. You don't see the brain of AI. All you see is an interface which you can interact with. So they create that interaction phase or interaction page where people can be able to interact, your chat bot and all that. Some people are behind that, creating that UX and human conversation between machine. And then lastly will be communicate. Some people, their role will be to communicate the importance, communicate the changes that AI is bringing, or just look into what are the phases of business change that AI will introduce, who is impacted, and what would that change look like. They are change managers, and their strong skill also is to communicate change, introduce change, and empower people, okay, in the line of that. Okay, so the reasons why we have all this is because AI cannot stand by itself. As great as it is, as it's an opportunity in the developing and continuously developing world, these parameters around AI makes it useful, safe, trusted, and satisfying to the business and human need. If I was able to hear you, I'll probably would say, please put on, if you have any questions, you can stop me. But because of the way this is formed, I would say, if you have any questions, please put them in the comment section, and the webinar facilitator or the admin will pick up those questions, and then we'll go through them shortly. I'll be as fast as I can soon because I have a lot here, but just so that we can get through it. Now, before me or before us is 10 roles that I have extracted as roles that do not necessarily need coding for you to jump into them, for you to start them. For some of them, you would need some technical literacy. When I mean technical literacy, it's not about coding, it's about the legality, the technical framework, the background understanding of how AI's techniques or AI frame, design is, so that it helps you in how you work or how you operate in those kind of roles. It's quite important. So, but for these roles, you need not learn code or have coding skills as it were. Okay, so we have AI product manager, we have AI business analyst, we have data and AI governance, we have AI risks and compliance. In bracket you can say AI GRC or something like that. We have AI adoption and change lead. We have prompt and AI workflow specialist. We have AI operations managers, AI trainer and evaluator. Isn't we have AI UX conversion of conversation designer. We have content strategists, AI content strategists. All right. So think of these as roles that might belong to a bigger umbrella family. All right. And organizations use different labels. So it doesn't mean because I say AI product manager, every organization will be advertising AI product manager. Some people might coin the word differently. You might say AI product owner, and stuff like that. So just be familiar that the concept is what we're talking about now, not actually the role or the job title. Okay, so let's get into these roles quickly. For someone who wants to get into AI product manager or a product owner now, what do? They own a problem that they believe AI can solve with its own value. So they transmit or they translate or they interpret the customer or business problem into an AI product. People are using the people have been using AI for before AI become a thing. All right. One of the elementary AI is Google Map. All right. Somebody designed the map such that all you need to do is say where you want to get to, and the map will lead you there. And they're all variants of map these days, Waze and Google Map and all that stuff. Why do we have them? They are solving a problem of helping people know where to go. All right. So AI product managers or owners, they look into areas of human problem, business problems that creating a kind of AI product will solve. All right. Um, just because of time, I won't go deep into this. You can always research into these roles for yourself. Okay. Now, if you want to jump into this kind of role, what do you need? You need the knowledge of products. How does product work? You need the knowledge of projects. How does project work? You need the knowledge of business analysis. How do you analyze the business needs? How do you, and consulting operations domain, which is functional expertise. You need this sometimes to understand functions within a business and what problems or opportunities, as I love to call them, exist in those areas. Another thing you need to learn about is AI life cycle, evaluation, experimentation, product discovery, things around product launch, product, test, etc. Those are areas, things that you need to have a knowledge of when you're jumping into this kind of role. In the UK, this role can fetch about 90 to 130K per annum. If you're in this role, can fetch something like that. US indicative market would be around 110 to 100K border. I don't have the knowledge for what that would look like in other currencies like euro or African currencies, for example, Nigeria. I don't know how to put that in those kind of markets. I'm just using the UK and US because I'm more familiar with those two environments. Okay. And lastly is, what is the market perspective? The market is great. People are still thinking every day of what product they can use AI to introduce, and so that all continues to go. Organizations are employing people in that area, thinking of what product, what now we have the knowledge in one space, what problem can we still solve and all that. Okay. And you will find below some useful credentials that you might need, to get into this if you need to do some learning, whatever, that's there. Let's go on into another role is AI business analyst. Now, once I do press screen like this, sometimes some of my slide will go funny, but it's all right. Okay, so what do we have in AI business analyst? Business analysts generally don't put AI, just a business analyst. They analyze business problem and they map what the problem is and who is likely to, or what are the likely possibilities of solutions to it. Okay, they look into documenting business processes. So if we have a problem, we have an easy way to trace back what did we do, what did we not do, where did we go wrong, where does answers lies and all that. They analyze business processes and business outcomes, possibilities, users, and capabilities. That's what they do. But when it comes to AI business analysis, they do this with the scope of AI. Okay, so they do what we call map pain points. They look into pain points. Pain points means that what are the actual challenge? If you want to call out those challenges, what are challenges that exist in the in the business? What are the opportunities these challenges pose to the business? Now they define what would be the solution. What is the end goal? What do we want? This is a problem, yeah, but how do we want to define it being solved? For example, you can say we don't have lights. We would define that problem is solved when there is a light. When there is light where? In the bedroom, in the kitchen, do you understand? They come up with those definitions of what we call the definition of done in business analysis. All right. So they do another thing and assessing. They assess the feasibility. They assess the risk. They assess the data readiness. They assess the value that this solution will bring. They assess what is available. What do we even have? Do we have bulbs before we create light? All those things. They do the assessments, and then they go into adoption, enablement. All right. What processes need to be in place to enable us to be able to, solve or create those solutions that we are looking for and all that. So they make a plan for the business, and that is what AI business analysts will be doing in time of using AI as the tool or the capability for an organization. In terms of remuneration package or what you expect to get, people in this role will be earning around about mark, and this is not fixed in stone. This is just indicative of what app operates. For example, in the UK market, we have between 60 to 90K per annum for this role. In the US, we have between 180 to 140K, and this is also a strong area. While business analyst itself has been there for many years, for many people who are already in that role, many are also transitioning into AI business analysts. Not just business analysts alone, they are also learning about AI and adopting that AI capability into what they already do. Now I'm biased and I need to be plain forward to say that this is my bias. My bias is on row 3 from my list, which is data and AI governance. All right. And so straightforward, let me just make that clear. Good. So what is AI and data governance? AI and data governance is the trust layer between AI ambition and responsible enterprise, responsible business. All right. It is good to have an AI ambition where a business wanted to do this and this, solve this, create this, do this with AI. But governance is that responsible and accountability side of things that balances that admission in the lens of regulation, in the lens of social responsibility, in the lens of capability, in the lens of truth, quality data, in the lens of scope, in the lens of our responsibilities and all that. All right. So what happens with data and AI governance is you look into your AI strategy. AI strategy is just a goal. So what do you need? You need data that powers, AI. You create models out of that data, and that yields decisions. There are people at the back of that. There are brains behind all that. And then what you do, those people are those the accountability. They have accountability roles. You just don't AI just don't exist by itself. There are people who sat as the accountability roles around what AI, where, what, who, how, or another, which leads into control. People create a control parameter, around AI, and they do this by providing evidence, evidence that AI is following those controls. AI is, they have evidence to check that those controls are still in place all through the life cycle of an AI product or AI agent. Okay, so in terms of AI and data governance, you can split out what they do from what I've explained in these 5 areas below, which is data. There is nothing called AI without data. There is nothing, AI is nothing without data. AI feeds, drinks, milks, consumes data strongly, right? So data is very important. In fact, you train AI with your data. AI learns like a child will learn how to eat, how to work. That's how AI is taught. AI is taught by putting in data. If you've been using tools like ChatGPT, after a month or two, just ask it, ChatGPT, tell me what you think about me. It will tell you, oh, you have this, because of what you've been asking it to do over time. It tells you what the things it knows about it. That's what AI is. It consistently learn by the amount of data that we feed it. So data is really important, and that's why the quality of the data has to be impeccable. Why? Otherwise, AI will begin to hallucinate. It will create things that don't exist because you've used wrong data to train the AI. All right. And so with the data comes lineage, which tells you where the data is coming from. That's why you get a trust from, build a trust from. Where is that data coming from? Who owns it? What is it being used for? When was the last time we have this data or updated or checked or anything like that? Who has it? Who has access to it? Who is responsible for it? And all that. Into developing an AI agent itself that uses that data to be able to define what are the control biases, because AI coming into the space with their own biases, created them biases for the AI, that becomes the frame for it. All right. Next on the line is risk. Look at the risk. What are the privacy risk to an AI? What is the risk that AI can begin to do what we don't ask it to do? Can be going too far, because once you begin to build these agents without those without those frame around them, AI become nosy. They become like a child that you train to know that food is sweet, And once they know that the food is sweet, they can go opening your can of Dano or your can of Cow and Gate and eat it themselves because you've shown them that this guy is sweet, or your needles are going and like why like James. So that's how AI can act. They can start looking into your wardrobe and testing out your clothes and say, oh, that looks nice or something. So you have to watch out what are the risks to privacy, around that. So and solving the risk means that you are creating an enterprise policies, standards, regulation, testing, accountability to make sure that you are testing these AI agents that the business is using, and there's a framework towards that. And what does that do, or what does that do? It creates an assurance that it can be evidenced that we are monitoring our AI agents, we are monitoring what AI does, we are monitoring the data they have access to, We are monitoring how we are using data to report, times online with regulation, etc. Okay, that is what AI and data governance do. It sits as the government, the police around AI as a product or a capability in an organization, starting with the data itself to how AI is being used. Now, people who sit in this role in the UK would are likely to earn, especially if you're having the lead role, like UK governance, data governance lead, data AI lead. You're likely going to be taking a base amount of like 90K to like 150K. Or if you're working contract, these are like perm kind of roles. You are working contracts, £800 a day, 1,000 pounds a day, whatever, So I have that in there. And the job market is saying that this role is rising fast. That is, it's rising fast, like it's calling for attention. Maybe people are discovering that this role is there and is attracting people. That's what it is for. Okay. We have another role called risk and compliance, and I've mentioned this before. And this risk, you can put in background, people probably would think GRC or something like that. They look into AI obligations and think of what regulation says about them, about those roles. They look into things like Data Protection Act, and they look into things like data protection regulation or commissions regulations. They look at the risks. What risks does AI pose to personal information, what we call personal identification information, PII? What risk does AI pose into product, into copyright, all those things. And then they work with AI governance to define the policies, standards, control around it. They don't work alone. And in some cases, they work also with the legal department in the organizations to refine policies, control, standards. Okay. And then they produce the assurance that is vendor compliant. For example, some organizations will need to see that you can evidence that your controls and policies are working. And so their job is to provide, assurance through different exercises in the business to show that we are on top of things. All right. So that's one of the things that they do. Now, for this particular role, what does somebody needs as entry requirement? People in this role are expected to have strong backgrounds in compliance, so things like insurance, things like finance, things like fraud, tax, and all those things, that shows compliance, that shows audits, like internal audits. You'll be doing internal audits, privacy audits, cyber risk, legal operations, and also you can find that there's also data governance there. The people who have this kind of background, they would like people to have that. Now, people who are in this role can expect to have between say 55 to 120K managers to analyst role, and indicative of that in the US market will be like 90K to like 170, 175K. Time is running, so I want to be as quick now. We have AI adoption and change leads. Are people who adopt AI as a product, who plot the change is bringing, the impact of that change to the business. We have people that is their role. They break it down, into this is what AI skills is. This is what AI is providing to the business. This is what area of the business is going to disrupt, and this is how we should start working. What is the change? We used to use our hands to carry stuff from here to here, but now we won't be doing that anymore. We need to do it this way now. So they plot that change, all right, that AI is bringing. They help the business to adopt the change. Like, change is something that I said is consistent, but change also is something that people resist, especially when you're changing ways of working that people are familiar with over time. All right. So AI adoption and change leads helps to break this down into what actually will change and help people to adopt that change over time. Okay. This is something that UK survey says that this will grow with how AI is being deployed in the next in the next 5 years, 5, 10 years. All right, it will grow. AI, like I said here, AI is only able to create value when people change how work gets done. If people don't change, AI can't do nothing about it. You can't do anything. AI does not jump in front of you and say, give it to me, give it to me. No, you only allow AI. So they lead the adoption of that into how work must change and all that. And so this is a growing area in non-coding area of AI. It's forecast that they will be part of the top five skills, But what are the things you need here in this sort of role? You need communication skills, very, very important. Communication skills, creative thinking, you know, innovation, building relationship, um, adaptation, understanding, and communicating change, understanding and communicating change. That's some of the things that you start to see. Now, this is not a role that is very common right now. Is a role that is still in development in terms like they don't have so many of it just yet. We have people who have business change lead, but we don't have a lot of AI adoption and change lead because a number of people right now, or a number of organizations rather right now, are still in their elementary phases of AI adoption and AI agent, AI product, and all that, And so for some, the change has not been at enterprise wide, right? So it's probably a sect of the business is affected, the side is affected, and all that. So that change will come in gradually. So people who are already business change are still managing this role, but later on, there might be some core AI change lead or AI adoption and change lead that will come into play soon. Cool. Now we have also some roles that I imagine, which is one of them is prompt and AI workflow specialist. The way some people are teaching people how to write prompts and stuff like that. There will be people in the background too now that will be working in that place to test your AI agent. They will be testing what they expect the design to look like. So they'll be creating a workflow design where AI is meant to do this, and from that we are meant to create this. They start to design a workflow that you can create that in a prompt, for example, that the input will yield what you want to see. And like that if you're using like all this AI agents, you can refine your prompt, you can refine your prompt, you can refine your prompt until you see what you really want to see. All right. So there'll be people that they'll be refining prompt to say that we are building AI product that look like what we want to see. So those people also will be in the background that they don't have to write the code. All they need to do is to, once the data is behind and the construct, the models have been created, they can begin to design prompt that helps create a workflow that AI picks up and completes, So the prompts, the consistency, the workflow, the standards, the monitoring, all that, they'll be behind that. These are something that are coming up right now. Entry level should be about 50, 40, 50, 80K at the top end, and we have that in the US as well. Right now, it's rated as medium in terms like people who create the AI products, the scientists, they are also the one that write these flows, and they have testers who test. And so it's not carved out as a role in itself by itself just yet, but it's going to get there where an organization of people will sit down and as part of maybe testers, they are creating prompts before the design, and they are creating prompts in the test phase and in the deploy phase as well for AI products. We have AI operations manager. These are the people who see AI as a product and in operation. They define what service AI is offering, what processes AI is involved in. They define AI's interaction with tools, with suppliers, with vendors. They define human in the loop, what areas of the business do we have human machine partnership in? What value is AI bringing to the business? The AI operations from start to finish, they define it, and what value that will yield. So there are people whose role will be AI operations manager. What part in the business does AI cover? For example, if we are in the logistics now, AI might come in there where AI is monitoring the pickup to the delivery. For example, you pick up a product to go to Mr. B in New Zealand. The AI can sit in the loop that is giving prompt updates in every point in that service. All right. So there's those AI operations manager are there to provide this kind of information. Just a minute. Okay, there's a lot of talking right now. I've just had a boss for a break. So I want to ask us to have a 2 minutes break while I continue. Is that all right? Just have a 2 minutes break.
Okay. Yes, sure. Thank you all for joining us. I can see Joy joining in from Nigeria. I can see Jay from Britain. We just have a few minutes left for today's session. That's for day one. I can see Aisha joining us from Sweden. You're all welcome. I can see Abigail from Port Harcourt, Nigeria. You're all welcome. Um, we have a few questions here.
Okay. So
Would you like to go? Would you like to take them now? Yeah, questions.
um 1 second. I need to grab water. Just give me 30 seconds.
Okay, sure.
That's water break. Like that. Give me a second, please.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So yes, you're all very much welcome. So far we have covered a few roles. We've covered about 7 roles so far. We have spoken, our facilitator has taken us about AI product manager, AI business analyst, data and AI governance, which is our facilitator's field. So he's very, very biased about that. We have AI risk and compliance. We have adoption and change lead. We've covered prompt and AI workflow specialist. And we've covered just now AI operations manager. Okay. Are there any? Is there any of these roles that we haven't heard about until today? Let me see you. Let me see your comments. Have we all heard about these roles, or is there something we're just learning about today? I myself, I'm just learning about adoption and change lead today. So, is there any that you've heard before and you, or this is your first time getting to know about that role? And is there any role that you're excited to learn more about? Let me see your comments in the comment section while our facilitator comes back. Okay. Okay. All right. You're welcome, sir. So
We can take the
can I
questions now. Thank you.
the question? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's a question by Joy from Nigeria. That's the intentional. Sorry. What about someone with no technical background but has administrative experience? What role should they go for?
Someone with administrative background,
Yes, administrative experience. Yes, but
but
no technical background.
yeah, that's why we have this. Is to give you an idea of what roles you can go for, and then look at your set skill. What you've done before is administration, but there are more things that you do. You solve problem, don't you? I believe you do. So um, this is something that you have to do. There's something they call skills matrix. Okay, we can help you with that if you need that. Maybe the admin can help you get that, where you do a matrix of your own skills to see what are you good at, and that will lead into what problem you can solve. Listen, the reason why we work is to solve problems. So you have to think of what problem can you solve. Admin is a role, but in that role, you are doing things. You are creating maybe report. You are maybe answering calls. You are engaging people in conversations. Do you understand? Those are skills that sometimes we don't even realize they are, but they are skills. You're solving problems. You're helping people with their inquiries, etc. All right. So those are skills. Okay. So you can do a skills metric to say, okay, yeah, I believe that if I have this information, for example, if there is a problem, I can provide solution. I can engage people in this conversation. I can educate people because there are roles where what you do is educate people on product like change, for example. So I can't say this or that. You have to look into areas where you think it suits your personality, it suits your person. I once have a friend who says that the reason why I'm in tech is because I don't like talking, I don't like conversation, I don't like meetings. I just like to just work in the background. Those people you call nerds, right? Even that is changing now. They're asking everybody to be able to communicate. What are you building? What product is that? How would that code work? What problem is it solving, to engage, right? So these are changing. So for some people, their role involve having face-to-face contact with people, communication and all that. Some people said I want less of that. So what I want to just do is maybe do the legal part of things, or whatever. So you have to look into what are those stuff is. Okay. So if you maybe go online or something and find skills matrix, how do I know what skills I have? It's going to ask you certain questions. Once you put in answers to those questions, it's going to profile you and tell you this is the kind of person you are, this is the kind of work that you'll be good at, this kind of skills that you have and stuff like that. And that will help you in what choices that you want to go for. I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you so much for answering that. So, Joy, you need to do a lot of introspection and going online to search for your a skills matrix to outline the skills that you already have and take advantage of that. So, our next question goes, yeah, this is the first time I'm hearing about adoption and change lead. Is there another job title similar to this, and how can someone get started?
Now that you hear about it, go ahead and do some research. Yeah. When AI came into existence, some people were like, AI, what is that? What does it mean? But now many people know about it more than before. So it's something that is coming in. Yeah. Before now, we have change lead. I mean, there's one in my team. right? Yes, we have change lead, change managers and all that. But AI will bring a new way of working that we need AI adoption and change lead as well that will introduce the impact of those change and what that will how that will affect usual or legacy, if I put it that way, ways of working. So yeah, it's coming. And now that you know about it, research about it, what skill do you need? Like I've given you just a summary of what it is. You know, people who understand business processes and impact of change, like the gentleman I work with, when he talks about change, it's fascinating because he is more granular in defining change and change processes than I am. I see change, high level, but you see change, you discuss changes in a more, much, much lower level, and so there'll be people like that who will be able to define what does adoption a particular AI product, AI service, AI capability will mean for the business from top to bottom, who is affected, what will be affected, how will it be affected, in what phases will that impact build, when is going to be the point of adoption and what type of adoption is it going to be a transition and adoption of that product, is it going to be a sudden, all this kind of jargons that they know and they work out, and they help business into it. So yeah, there were people like that. So if you love that, can research into it. Why not?
Okay, thank you for answering that. We have two more questions and then we'll call it a day. Question from Aisha says, what level of knowledge of AI architecture is needed to succeed or get a job in the AI roles you talked about?
None. None.
Okay.
AI architecture is a technical knowledge. If you've done AI Google fundamentals, or Google AI fundamentals or AI fundamentals run by Google, all right, you would have been thought about models, you'd be taught about machine learning, you would have thought about AI agent, agentic AI, and all this stuff, and all those that will give you idea into the architecture behind AI and stuff like that. But they are just good knowledge for you to understand how to communicate with somebody um, who is writing those languages, those data languages or AI languages for models. It gives an idea of what happens behind the scene, but it doesn't interpret into the flow of work itself. It doesn't mean an AI business analyst now is writing anything around architecture. No, it doesn't. So all these roles are non-technical roles, which means the architecture of things doesn't sit here, it sits somewhere else. So you don't need to know. Knowing those things help you to have the conversation, help you to suggest, help you to probe, help you to understand better, both from non-technical and technical side of things. But it doesn't mean you need to know it to be able to work. No.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And our final question for today, and then we'll call it a day. Um, how long does it take to go from a complete newbie to getting a job in data and AI governance role?
Okay, good. This is part one, so there's still part two. All right, part two, I will get into it, but I can give you an idea. You can set yourself, oh, I mean, a plan. I would say between 90 and 180 days, but from 90 days to 180 days, you can actually get into your role. 90 days will be like your benchmark of learning, like the course we have in using tech, which is in data and AI governance, for example, goes over that 90 days, right? That's around 8 weeks to 10 weeks, right? Where you have the classes, the practical session, and all that. So you start building your CV, creating your LinkedIn profile, creating your profile on other job boards, and start applying. Okay. And some people in that 90 days they've gotten an offer to start working, and some it will take them 180 days to get into things. So it depends on how quick someone is able to pick the concepts, and build the confidence and develop the portfolio and launch themselves. Some of our students, once the class ends, the following day they start applying for job. Some we said, oh, they want to build more portfolio before they start applying for. So they do more because we have projects. So they go into more of the project and work that out and all that. While some, in between, maybe a week after, 2 weeks after, a month after, or whatever. So, but at least once you've done a training, well, and the training we have here is handheld. It's not video that you watch and then it's not those course people buy on Coursera or anything like that. No, when you just sit down, no, it's like I'm talking to you. We have that classes where people will walk through what it is, how to do it, ask questions, given exercises, they go to do it, they come back with their feedback, their result is checked, scored, marked, giving them the feedback on, and start to build their confidence and their portfolio that way, and so anything upward of 90 days you're able to launch, so but then like I said, some people 90 days they are off, they are flying. Some people might need more time. So you have to understand that will be how your own makeup or your own construct, as it were, for
Okay,
90
well,
days of Big Mac. Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much for answering these questions. And just like you said, yes, our courses are available for you to register. If you look on the screen right now, you see that our courses have started. We're open for registration, and in the comment section, you can see the website link, Heels and Tech. So you can just go there and send us a message on WhatsApp. Once you go to the link, you see an icon that says chat us up on WhatsApp, and just go there and you can tell us when what you want to sign up for and when you're ready to sign up for. And yes, so thank you so much, Mr. Sheon, for today's session for
Welcome.
day one. And everyone, please look out for day two, which is coming up in September, the 12th of September. So keep abreast with our updates on our social media platforms, on our WhatsApp channels. Um, there is so much more in store for you. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Sharon.
Welcome.
Thank you all. Thank you all for joining us today. Let me take you off right now, and we'll see you next time for day two. And yes, so thank you all so much for joining us. And tomorrow as well, we also have another webinar going live for those of you interested in cybersecurity in the GRC roles. Just like Mr. Show mentioned today about risk and compliance, you can see it as GRC. Yes, tomorrow is for GRC. So please join us as well. So thank you everybody for joining us today. Do enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Check the link and send us a message on WhatsApp. Have a lovely day, everybody.